Welcome everybody, it's tractorchute here, and it is the last of the Friday challenge submissions where you must send your first 3 probes out without letting them mine. And I will tell you right now, I'm going to give it to you. Yes, you can see he is carrying a mineral, but that is quite fine. He didn't actually use the mineral, so I'm going to let that one go. Not like he dropped the mineral at the base, so he did send his first 3 workers out, so very well done by our good man, the submitter of this game. I can tell you that was Firewalker, playing as the red Protoss. In the upper left-hand corner will be his opponent, Kitty Lick. He likes to lick kitties. Good man. He will be playing as the blue Terran in the upper left-hand corner, so he will use these first 3 probes to scout. Very smartly done, especially on a map where you can spawn anywhere, I do believe. Can you, or is this a cross? This might be a cross spawn map, is it? Let's see. No, yeah, this is a cross spawn map, actually. Yes, it is. Okay, so it is definitely a cross spawn map. So he will get up there. We'll scout his opponent out. Take a look at the APM out of our 2 Silver League players. It is a 43-210. So our good man of Kitty Lick, not the quickest man in the book, but you don't need to be quick to win. I always say that. APM, it goes to a certain degree to how good you are, but at the same time I have seen guys with barely any APM and they're pretty darn decent, I will say that much. And Kitty Lick is going to get himself off the standard wall off here. Meanwhile, Firewalker will be scouting around the base there. Going to kind of use all 3 just to patrol around the map. Very smartly done. That's actually a good move. We'll keep good old vision on the map, know exactly where the expansions are. We'll get himself the good old mineral line wall off, getting himself a gateway there. And then I'd imagine we'll go to Cybercore and straight to Stargate. He says, hey, good luck, have fun. What a happy little character that Firewalker man is. Thank you, you too. Very polite intro. Like to see that. I always like to see happy games. I hope it remains that way, especially even if you lose. As long as you're polite, StarCraft is to have fun. It's not about winning. As long as you have fun. Isn't that what we're always taught growing up? I know that's what I was taught growing up. I used to play baseball, so I was always playing sports. I played for about 14 years in actual normal baseball, then went to slow pitch for a little while there. And I was always taught that, you know, and you usually disagree with it growing up. A lot of people say that's kind of a stupid saying, as long as you have fun. So really, if you get beat like 58-0, you think that's going to be fun for someone? I don't know, man. It really depends, you know. I think it is if you have fun. Once you get into the more competitive sports, obviously, then it's a little bit different. Once you get into higher leagues there, then maybe it's not quite the same. But either way, in StarCraft 2, just have fun, you know. It's just a game, right? It's just a game. Both these guys are silver. It's not like they're competing for any sort of prize or to be the top player in the world. So, you can have a good polite game. It does look like we are going to get a nice early command center actually out of the Terran, getting it around the 3-minute 30-second mark when he started building that. In the meantime there, we are getting the Forge coming out, so he's looking to put maybe a little bit of cannons on the map here. Maybe try and cannon off the early expansion he's got out of his opponent, but at the same time, I don't believe he can actually see that early expansion at all here. No, has no idea that's down there. But he will in about 2.5 seconds here as he does get the good old probe in there, so could look to possibly maybe put a pylon down, but at the same time we have 2 Marines on the map. Probably wouldn't be a very viable move, as they would probably be able to thwart that off quite easily. So he does bring them down there, make sure they're around there, gets rid of that probe out of that vicinity here. And there we are. We're going to start putting some photon cannons down at his main ramp here, knowing that there are a few Marines out nice and early. And he will continue to macro this baby up. I would have to imagine some cybercore is going to come down here pretty darn quick, so we can start getting his starports out. And he will continue to scout around the bottom area of the map here, moving around with the nice patrol points, keeping that map vision going. His opponent, in the meantime, going with the double gas, going to get himself into another barracks. So got triple barracks nice and early, got a standing SCV. Might want to get that boy going to work here so he can at least be helping the team out. Be a team player, my good man. Build something. Take a look down here. I do believe the Cybercore is going to come pretty quickly, or at least I would have to imagine it's going to come. Still ain't coming as of yet. Might be looking to get a nice expansion down first, and that's exactly what he's probably going to do. So he will be saving up his money so he can at least get that laid out here. I hope that he doesn't start building himself some ground use, as that is not allowed, and no, he's not doing so. So very well done. Is abiding by all rules so far. And he's going to bring another probe right into the main base here. He's going to walk into a lot of Marines here, and that's not going to do him a whole lot of good. So we'll end up losing that probe right away. Didn't scout anything he didn't already know was there. And there we go. We are going to plant that one down right on a reactor. So he's got double reactors going down. No tech labs as of yet. Definitely looking to go. Oh, sorry, he does have this tech lab. So there you go. He does have a tech lab. So probably going to look to get combat shield and some stim pack down. Possibly even some concussive shells. There are more standing SCVs. Boy, this is a man, I always say, I think his hash browns, I always say, likes to let his probes sit around. Apparently this guy, if you work for him, you get to stand around quite often too. But he does put them both to work. They're going to make sure he doesn't get supply blocked. Really keeping that supply count very, very high. So yeah, that's probably a fairly good practice. Nobody likes to be supply blocked. Does have himself down the orbital command on both of his bases, so very well done there. And double gas is going to go down as well. And there we go. We are now getting ourselves into the cyber core halfway finished, and the Nexus is getting there as well. And we'll get his second gas down too here. So looking pretty good out of Firewalker here. He's got a pretty good build going, especially since the opponent is going to macro up nice and early. But at the same time, he does have quite a few units on the field here. Let's take a look at the unit tab. Does have 1 Marauder and 10 Marines. So if he pushed right now, Firewalker might be in a bit of trouble. He does have some cannons down, but might not be enough here. That's a lot of units he's got pretty early here. So I'm very curious what's going to happen. Or if his opponent chooses the turtle, it might be a savings grace for a good man Firewalker here. So Firewalker will slowly get out some starports, I would have to imagine, very quickly here. And not as of yet, but he does have the air weapons, so he's already getting the upgrades here. So he's already preempting what he knows he's going to need. So very well done by getting those air upgrades nice and early. But at the same time, like I say, still going to need to get himself out some stargates here. As you might want to get them out at some point in time. Otherwise, you know your opponent's going to be coming with Marine Marauder. Or at least you got to guess Marine Marauder 9 times out of 10 when you're playing against Terran, and he is just spitting out units left, right, and center. Wowzer, he's got a lot of units on the map here. This could be a lot of trouble early. Sending out some scouting Marines, kind of wants to get an idea of what his opponent has, but he's going to take over the Naga towers first, make sure he has control of the middle of the map, knows exactly what comes through that area. We'll get the double gas down at the natural, or at least I imagine the second gas is going to come. He's going to need a lot of gas for obviously the air only units, and yeah, still very surprised at the timing on his starports here. Knowing you're going air only, we're almost at the 10-minute mark, and we still have 0 star gates on the map here. But at the same time, once he does get him down, he's going to have at least 1 upgrade already. So there are double stargates are going to be laid out here. And I'd imagine he's going to ride at least 2. 2 would probably be a minimum you're going to need for this build. And is going to continue to pylon off and cannon off his natural as well. Make sure that's going to be well fended off here. But look at the opponent just continuing to spit out units. Still working on 3, but does have our 3 barracks. Does have himself down a factory. A lot of standing SCVs. Very well done there. He's continuing to keep the supply depot count up, and he needs to because he's doing very, very quick on these Marine Marauder build here. He's getting down a starport. Finally, he's going to get down the reactor on his factory, so could be looking at widow mines, and is expanding. So this is definitely helpful if you're going air only, if your opponent is really going to macro it up, as he is getting down to his 3rd command center here. So we'll have 3 bases on the go, and those 2 stargates are slowly finishing up. There's the air weapon level 1 down, so might look to get the armor slowly after this. I would have to imagine there's the double starport. What's his choice of air units? Is he going to go to voids? Is he going to look at building a fleet beacon to go into Tempests and carriers? Who knows? He's really got lots of options here. Tempest carriers, realistically, you might want to ride that off of 3 bases if you're going to go heavy on it. But it is a viable build off of 2. But at the 11-minute mark, you're a little bit late to get out a couple early Tempests or something. A lot of times, early Tempests are pretty handy here, as you can really do a lot of damage with their range nice and early. So we are just going to be Oracle. Very interesting. 11 minutes in, and we're going to choose Oracle. Okay, fairly interesting choice. Kind of curious how this ends up turning out for him here. And the engineer base has the double engineer bay. He's getting an armory, so he's going to be very heavy on the upgrades as well. Very well done. Factory is getting himself out a tech lab on this factory, so imagine tanks can come up. He's going to start turtling up a bit here. Medevacs are on the field as well here. Look at those units. Wow, there are 36 Marines and 8 Marauders on the field, so he's got a lot of that going on here. Also has some Void Rays out here, so Void Rays are going to start. Doesn't have them out, but they are going to be coming out here. There's those Oracles. They're going to start moving out. Might look to go a little bit of harassment on the mineral line. Does have that scouting probe still standing around here. Has himself a Nexus over here, so looking pretty good so far. Getting that nice, somewhat of a hidden expansion over here to get himself onto 3 base, and he will continue to get these oracles over here. I was going to say, did he actually do anything with his 3rd probe? But that was actually an extra probe he pulled out of the base to build that Nexus here. As you can see, the last one is the one that did pick up that mineral at the very beginning, so I do know that was one of his 3. So very well done. So there you go. He has lost the 3rd one, so he has accomplished the first portion of the challenge, which is to use your 3 3 workers right off the bat there for absolutely nothing. So that's exactly what happened. So now it's going to be straight air and see what kind of damage we can do. He does know that the oracles are on the map here, so might want to start pulling these off, or at least getting ready to pull off here. He's getting their barracks down there. And they're going to go to work here. It does bring the Marine Marauders over here. They should easily be enough to try and keep that out of his base. At the same time here, does not have any turrets, so he's going to go right up into the main. Going to force his army over here. Has a little bit of energy on him, not a whole heck of a lot there, but he will have enough to melt as many SCVs over here as he can. Take a look at that count. You can see it is 10 workers killed. So looking pretty good on that count, doing a decent job with these oracles. And there's the Marine Marauders all getting up there, and they will easily chase them out of here. So he will retreat with them and continue on with the Void Ray count here. It does have two more are coming onto the map here, so we'll have 4 altogether. And does he have a third? No, does not have a third or a 4th starport out. A little bit surprised there. Might want to get a 3rd starport at the very least, especially working off a 3 base. Rule of thumb sometimes is the same amount of starports as you do have bases is always viable. So he's going to move these Marine Marauders across the map here. They're going to come way over here to the location of his possible 4th. Not too sure what they're going to want to do up here, whether or not he's looking to expand or if he wants to load them up and start taking them down around the lower left-hand corner of the map, which might be a very bad thing for a good man Firewalker. He does have the base on the hidden expansion along the left-hand side, but they don't. So they're actually going to retreat, go all the way back to the base. They were kind of hunting down the oracles, I would have to imagine. And now we are finally starting to get into our starports. There's the starport. We are going to get to the fleet beacon. He's going to get a 2nd cyber core to start getting the upgrades going, and we'll build a ton more pylons to make sure he does not get supply blocked at all. That Void Ray count is getting up there, has 6 Void Rays on the field, so looking pretty good so far here. Once those 3rd and 4th Stargates go down there, and that is going to be a lot of trouble for his opponent here. Even though he had the lead early, he didn't put any pressure on him. That might be a detriment to him here, as once that Void Ray count gets up here, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Especially once he gets some carriers going or some Tempest going. Carriers are definitely handy, especially against Marine Marauder. If you keep him in the back, it makes the guy focus on it. Makes him micro. He's really got a focus fire, each one of them. That makes it a little bit tougher on you. So it is going to be carriers. So very good choice there. So you might want to get the upgrade for the interceptors here. I would have to imagine that's going to happen here, which would be called the Graviton Catapult. There you go. Graviton Catapult will be exactly what he needs. Does get down himself some gases over here. Has 4 on one, 2 on the other. It's a little bit of misclicking around there, so I'd have to imagine he's going to fix that and get the 3rd one working off of that gas, which will be very, very handy. He's going to start getting some cannons around here to at least fend that off from any minor attacks here. But like I say, the opponent that happened to be macroing up is definitely helping Firewalker out with this build here. And as you can see, he does have 1 more standing SCV. Always nice to see standing SCVs, and they tend to be very common for a good man of Kitty Lick here. He's putting some turrets down the back here. That guy built the turret. He gets a little bit of a promotion there. He gets to stand around, have a little bit of a smoke break. In the meantime there, we do have some more transferring probes over here. Still hasn't fixed up the 3 workers on this one here. Still has 4 up there, so only 2 on this one. Might want to fix that up pretty darn quick, as really needs the gas count to get up there. And now the oracles go by, so hasn't revealed that he's gone heavy on the voids yet. Opponent has no idea, so he is pumping out a couple carriers anyways here, waiting for the mine to get up here. Sorry, that was a fleet beacon. He's actually going to work off a 3 Stargate. I know I said 4 earlier, but it will be 3 Stargate. There's the double upgrades happening here, so really going good on the upgrades. That is 2 and 2 for the weapon and the armor. Oracles are continuing to fly around. He does have his, what do you call these things again here? These sensor towers around here, so they can see the 2 oracles, know exactly where they are. And he is ready to move out, it looks like here. So really needs to get those carriers out here pretty darn quick. Needs to start chrono boosting the heck out of them. Has a couple Tempest, a Tempest on queue here. Has another carrier on queue as well here. So like I say, has a fair bit of energy. Could be chrono boosting. Has full energy on that one. Really needs a chrono boost out. That would definitely help his gameplay out a little bit here. Do have 1 tank in the army here. Might want to start getting a couple more tanks if he's looking to keep a tank Marine Marauder build here. He has almost maxed himself out in food, but at the same time, if he gets enough carriers on the map, they're definitely going to be enough to be a good counter to this here. So he's building his interceptors here, and has all 3 of them continuing to build carriers here. With Tempest, will start building pretty darn quick as well. So I would have to say that these guys are going to do the old 200 food, but at the same time, it does look like Kitty Lick has had enough. He's ready to start moving out here. Has no idea this base is over here, and might actually surpass it, it looks like here, as he plants himself up by this nice flag. He's playing capture the flag, possibly. I'm not entirely sure. But we do have another expansion down here. Might not even get the chance to get it up, depending on which way Kitty Lick goes from here. Kitty Lick, not too sure what his plan is here. Hasn't done any drops, which is a little bit surprising. But at the same time, he hasn't really moved anywhere. But does manage to get his 4th out as well. So very well done there. Both these guys are going to be working off the same amount of bases. At the same time here, we can see our carry count is sitting at 2. It is about to sit at 4 pretty darn quick here. There's number 3 coming out. Number 4 will be shortly behind it. So we're going to set ourselves on 4 carriers, 7 void rays, and of course the couple oracles here. So they're going to move themselves a little bit back and forth, take over the Naga Tower, get a little bit of vision there. Center Tower is just out of range of this base here, so that's definitely pretty darn close for Firewalker here to maintain this base, which is fully saturated. Finally fixed the worker count on the gas. So very well done there, and he's getting a crap ton of cannons going around his base. And there's the rest of the Marine Marauders. Almost got himself up to 200 now. In the meantime there, it does look like a good man of Firewalker. He's going to be pretty close to 200 pretty darn quick here too, as he does get himself finally out. Is it a Tempest? No, it is another carrier. We have 5 carriers on the map here, and the Tempest will be right here. He's got a couple of Tempests, so we will get a few Tempests in the army. There's number 1 for the Tempest, and we'll get himself out another Void. Air Army's looking pretty darn skookum, as he does have himself 8 Void Rays, 5 carriers, 2 interceptors, and 1 Tempest so far here, and is getting very close to 200 at 167. The opponent is at 200 here. His upgrades are sitting at 1-1. A little bit surprising. He's got better air upgrades than his opponent does have ground upgrades here, as he's sitting on 2-2. And there we are, 3-3 is slowly going to finish, so he will go over take out this base first. But this base has already done his job. It's got him enough to get almost up to 200 here. Has a few Vikings on the field too, so maybe preempting the fact that he might have some more air units, or maybe he's got them basically out to scout out the Oracles, not entirely sure. But always handy to have Vikings on the map. Is he getting any more? Yes, he is at 1-2 for upgrades. We'll take out the rest of these probes here. They have nowhere to go, so takes out that base quite easily. We'll move himself down here and work his way towards this base. We'll be able to take that out quite easily, but the air army is ready to go. All the interceptors are loaded up, and now we are going to get over here to start defending this, and we're going to see what's going to happen. Is the Sky Toss army going to be able to take out the maxed out Marine Marauder with the couple tanks in their army? We'll soon find out here, but it does. I'm not too sure what Kitty Lick's doing. He's got 200 food, really needs the pressure. He's working. He's got 4 bases. You can start moving, son. There's nothing else you can do other than build upgrades and production buildings. And he's going to move back towards the center of the map here, and then head down towards the main, I would have to imagine. In the meantime, there, Firewalker slowly get himself up to that 200 food count here. Has a few more units coming out of there. He's actually going to move up here. He's going to try and chase. He's either going to chase the army down or go for his opponent's main. If he does that, I would have to imagine it's going to turn into a base race opponent. Where is he going? He's going to go way over to the right-hand side of the map, I guess, make sure there's no expansion, making sure that Firewalker is not playing a symmetrical game and having an expansion on the other side of the map as well. And if we take a look at our good old air upgrades, they are now at 3, and 3 really only needs these shield upgrades from the Forge. So here we go. He's going to work his way down here. Does stop the proxy pylon from being built. And now he knows where the army is. Is he actually going to go up and try and collide with it here? He is. And now we're going to get the battle. There's the scan going down. He knows what's there. Now he's got to focus fire those carriers. Realistically, would probably be his best move here. Taking the units tab, getting it right out of there. He's going to go to work here. They need to focus fire. There's too many Marauders in there. He's not focus firing anything, which is his detriment. Very piss poor micro out of Kitty Lick here. She's going to end up losing most of his army, and now all he's got left is ground firing units here, and they're not going to be able to do a whole heck of a lot against a Sky Toss army here. So they're really going to clean this up quite easily here. Only has 1 carrier that is not full interceptors here, so we will finish off all these Marines quite easily here. There's the Void Rays coming out in here. They're going to clean that up as well. This is great big trouble. Look at that food count dissipate. It is 145, 280 now. So he has really cleaned that army out here, and now will probably look to move himself up towards the main bases of his opponent here of Kitty Lick. He is getting out a couple more carriers here, and he is ready to start flying that army up here. Kitty Lick, how do you deal with that, son? I don't know. Probably go mass Viking to help you out here. Would probably be a very good idea, but we'll soon find out. I don't know. Is Viking viable against a Sky Toss army? I'm not too sure if mass Viking would be very viable, but I do believe it would if you start focus firing down all those carriers. I do believe they would take them down very, very quickly here. So he's going to work himself up to the upper right-hand corner of the map, and then across from there, he must still have the rally point down here or something, because he's got really three Marines and 1 Marauder that are probably scared shitless standing out in the middle of the wilderness, knowing that Sky Toss army could be anywhere on the map. Now he knows where it is. Sensor towers are picking it up here. 2 Void Rays are out in the lead here. They have their prismatic linemen on here still. Does take out the 1 sensor tower. Will move everybody up here, and this could be great big trouble for his opponent. His opponent isn't even building anymore, I don't think. He's still around 87 for food. So doesn't have a ton coming out here. They're going to go to work here, and all these turrets are going to try and take out what they can, and that's not going to work so well. Planetary Fortress isn't going to help you now, son, especially when everything is flying above you and whacking you down left, right, and center. It has a random factory over here with no add-on on it. So we'll take out this expansion quite easily here. That is just a ton of carriers to deal with. The Sky Toss army that gets this built up, that they're tough to deal with, especially with that amount of Tempest and carriers in your army here. So they're going to continue to go to work. He did elect to go with Vikings. Apparently felt that was like a hero Viking. Also went with Thors too. I guess Thors would be another viable build for this. to try and fend this off. But at the same time, I think he was too far behind, but by the time he figured out that his opponent had a Sky Toss army, so he'll continue to move out here, should easily be able to clean up this Thor, which is firing away, clean up the couple factories, which are building himself out some more Thors. Those aren't even going to get out. We'll easily take that out. I do imagine that Kitty Lick is about done in this one here. Any second now, we should be getting a loss out of him here. And it does look like I will be doing a separate video for the announcement of the scoring, as well as the challenge for next week. So keep an eye on that one. That will be the last video to go up for the day. Like I say, I appreciate the new submitter of Ja Triple submitting 2 weeks in a row now for the Friday challenge. Much appreciated, my good man. It was a very enjoyable game. Like I say, I'll score all the quickest games, and I will also score these air-only games here. So I do give my condolences to you, Kitty Lick. My congrats to you, Firewalker. And I will leave you with this. If you can't tie your shoes, you probably ain't never worn a sweatshirt, especially with a hoodie. And make sure you always wear your belt, because I'm getting sick and tired of always having mosquitoes around. You be good. Don't hurt nobody. Peace.